Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. So I'm home, I'm back from my retreat that I held in Newcastle at Beck's store, and I'm just unpacking my suitcase, and there were a few things I just wanted to show you. Some of the things are from businesses and I just wanted to take a moment to highlight their details before my goodies got packed away in the cupboard. I've also got a selection of gifts here that I received that I wanted to go through with you guys. The girls were so generous at both retreats, and I haven't got everything here. A lot has already found its way into my room and be put into use or into my snippets, into my morsels. So, but there's a couple things here I just wanted to go through. All right, let's start at the beginning. So I went to 4 fabric stores. So we'll go through those in a moment, but on my desk right in front of me are the purchases I made at the Morthorpe, that name, I tell you, Morthorpe Antique Centre. Beautiful little town we wandered through, but the antiques centre in particular was just amazing. I could have spent all day there. So what I did find is, firstly, I found 2 more brass bangles for my collection with inlay. This one is bone and this one is also bone, a little bit of bone there as well. So really pleased with those. This one technically doesn't fit, but the price was really reasonable. And I think it was like $18. Yeah, it was $18. It doesn't fit me, but I thought what I might do is on-sell it in the future, and these go for, in Australia, around that $40 to $55. So I thought, you know what, there's a small profit to be made there. I might on-sell it, and then I can reinvest that profit into my hobby, my sewing. So I thought I'll just take it. They were both together, but it's a little bit too small for me. Maybe I'll be a size 10 one day. I doubt it. I think my bone structure will eliminate him from my collection. But anyway, even if I don't get around to on-selling it, my niece will inherit my jewellery one day. So, and she's a tiny little thing, so she may enjoy wearing it. All right, we'll pop that away. They're so pretty. I just love them. And I also got gifted one from the lovely Vanessa too. It's got inlaid pearl. It's gorgeous. Love it. I had that on for the one day. Now, spools. As you saw in the video, which was the summary of my Newcastle trip, I came across the biggest collection of spools I've ever seen. So I picked 3 really big ones. I've seen this pink guy around, and often it's just not for sale. So to grab a pink one is just fantastic. What am I planning to do with them? Well, they potentially could be a project on them, like we've done in the past with snippet rolls and things, or maybe just to, hold some textiles. This one here, as I was walking to my table, we've got a thread on here that matches beautifully with my Roxy Volume 8 project. It's got a bit of a sheen. I'm wondering if it's silk or I'm not sure. So I might end up having a play with that, and maybe I can do some stitching on my piece using that, because the colour is just beautiful. So that was a bit of a unintentional thing. Now these little guys, this is what I'd call the medium, also containing thread. These are probably more likely to be projects because they're not too big, so the size of my hand. So I'd say these will definitely be little projects. So I've got some little ones, all different shapes. So a little collection of them. They're really reasonably priced. So I was absolutely stoked, and another medium-sized one. Absolutely stoked with those. Probably my best find of the whole trip. In addition, I found some incompleted doilies. This one here I thought were really reasonably priced. $20, unfinished work. Now we know what the prompt is for the girls. It's your favourite doilies. So I'm absolutely stoked that I come across these, because now I can actually do these and have a go at the crocheted edge. I did it years ago, that crocheting on the edge, so I'd have to refresh my memory. I know I've got some little crocheted edge vintage booklets of grandma's, so I might actually pull those out and see if I can find a pattern. So that's going to go towards my Roxy project. I've still got sitting on the desk here, hang on one moment. I've got the Roxy Journal of Stitchery project panels that I did before I left, sitting on the end of my table here. Remember I had this? It's the only one that suits my colour palette. And I actually pulled it out and said, I won't use it because I've only got one and the piece is so big. But I'm thinking I could probably use it now, because with these, I could stitch them to suit. So really pleased about that. So that opens up possibilities for the next video. And then in addition, I found this one. So it was $35 rosebud tablecloth. So what a beauty. And look at the print. Look at that. So that has potential too. I don't know if I'm that enthusiastic, but this would make a great base for future projects. So I think the doily's achievable. I don't think this is. I'm just going to squirrel this one away for a rainy day. So that was a bit of a good buy. There we go. So that's all I got from the antique centre, the spools, the bracelets, and those doilies. There was heaps more stuff, but I just, you know, how much do you need? And I sort of, like I always say, I try and buy for projects or something specific in mind. So, because there's always this random shopping I do. Look at this. I'll come back to them because they're just, you wait till you see. Anyway, let's get to the businesses that I found while I was in the Newcastle region. So this was the first one. The video shows them in chronological order as I explored the region. So Alie Jane, fantastic little store, but Alie did mention that she is closing. There's Alie and her big doggy. He was in behind the counter having a snooze. He's a big pup. Allie's in the process of packing up her store, putting it into storage while she searches for a new location or adapts her business model, but she's going online, if not online already. There's her website. So I'll put the details in the video. The video that you've watched about the Newcastle trip, you probably won't have seen any details of the businesses yet. So I've got to also type that in them. I just needed to unpack to find all of the business cards. So at Allie's, I picked up this mushroom fabric. I think I showed the sister to this fabric, which was a mustard colour, made in Japan. No wonder I was attracted to it. Just beautiful. I like the weight of it too. Just gorgeous. So I'm going to pop that in my little stash. I got 30 centimetres of it. So I was really pleased with that. So I need to keep this in order so I can not only put it at the bottom of this video, links to Allie's site, also go back to that other video. Then the next business I came along was Beck's. So these are the things I picked up at Beck. I saw this gorgeous pack of pastel Wonderfill pearl cottons. Now I've bought a few of these over the years, especially when I first started off in slow stitch around the time COVID was on. I didn't have pearl cottons. I had DMC stranded cottons. So these packs were a lovely way to build up some colours. And this is one that I've admired for a little while, this pastels. I've seen it down at Gail's Patchwork Emporium, but, you know, shopping with a heap of ladies, you've got to be quick. And I tend to hold back a little bit because, you know, it's their time, not my time. But this pack was sitting there by the end of the week, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to spoil myself. And Beck's price is $48. That's pretty good, really good. There was a variegated one there too, which I did have in my hand, and I thought there's so many in there that I've already got, and there was probably 3 that I use a lot, and I thought, no, I'm better off just buying those 3 that I know I'll use than spending the money. So, yeah, really happy with that. Beck had pre-cut fabrics, so I picked up a bit of a strawberry theme of fabrics like I do. I shop in theme. This one's got apples and cherries on it, a nice little spot, another strawberry, and a cherry and apple, and that one there's the sister to that. I just think they're so bright, colourful, very pretty. They'll reappear later in a project that I'm working on, which you've sort of seen anyway. What else did I get from Beck's? She had lots of vintage textiles, and this caught my eye. They're not my colours, but I like it when they're not my colours when it comes to a tablecloth, because I can then play with different colours of flowers and sort of push my boundaries a little bit. And I do so like orange, yellow and orange. Like, it's just beautiful. I love how it's chunky. It was a great price too. Where's the ticket? I may have already removed it. $42, really good price. Love these little paper clips and little, not paper clips, safety pins that Beck uses. They're just adorable. So I'll be keeping that in my little stash of random items like zipper pulls, things like that. So really pleased with that. So I'll put that to one side. That won't be cut into. That will become a project like I did with the Blooms project, where I had a tablecloth and I worked in other colours, other flowers to explore stitching. So that's, watch out for that in the future. And this piece was sitting there. Now these are getting hard to find, let alone a big one. So I was absolutely stoked. And for $48, I thought, you know what? I'm seeing them upwards of $90 around the place. So I thought that was just a lovely price. And it's huge, absolutely huge. This will give me so many elements. It's a big rectangle. And I love that. Look at that. How good is that for the layout? Look at the shadow from my iPad. It's a really gloomy day, so the light above me is brighter than the light beside me, so I'm getting a bit of a shadow, so I do apologise for that. That's a bit better. I love the layout. Really, really good. And even the leaves, if they were taken out. And then the little guy. And then it repeats around this huge rectangle. So really happy with that. Oh, I never see stuff like that. I think in the vintage store that we were in, the antique place, there was a set of napkins in a yellow, and that was $48. So that tablecloth is just really good. I think that's all I got from Beck. Yep. The end of the week, we toddled off to a little country town and found, hold the horses. Prior to Beck's, we also found Zig Zag Sewing. So fantastic little store. There's some footage of inside the store in the video that I've been mentioning, but here's the business card. And I picked up some low volume. I was going to do some low volumes at Beck's, but it was just so many that I just found it was a bit overwhelming actually. And because I was busy with the class, I sort of didn't have the time to go start pulling out heaps of bolts of fabric and things like that. So, and then I saw those. So that was the end of the low volume purchasing. But I did pick up that spot, another little strawberry. I nearly didn't get this, but I'm pleased I did. It's just fresh. I love the looseness of the strawberries. Yeah, beautiful. I think what's kicked off this whole strawberry thing is when I was in Japan, I got that strawberry kit Let me just pause. I'll be back in a sec. I'm going to grab it. I'm back. So this is where the whole strawberry thing came from. This is a little strawberry garland. And in the little kit, I got some fabric, some plaited fake leather, pleather, and also these trims and the little leaves. And that sort of just planted in my mind, you know, having a play with strawberries. So stay tuned for all of that. And while I've been away, just sitting at airports thinking, creative thinking, I've been making a list of all these projects. So I'm feeling very inspired. I was saying to the girls, it's nice to step out of your craft room, because I sort of look at all the fabrics and textiles and think, oh, I've done something with that, done something with that. But I think what you need to do is actually walk away from all your goodies and just think about projects, and then come back to your goodies and say, oh, well, that fabric would work with it. So I'm feeling quite rejuvenated, actually. It started in Japan, just sitting at airports, sitting at breakfast, chatting to like-minded crafty people and just making notes of them in my phone. So, oh gosh, I feel like I've got about 30 different projects sitting there ready to go. So looking forward to the next half of the year. My gallivanting for the first half of the year will slow down somewhat now. There'll just be the odd camping trip with friends and things like that. So yeah, that's what I'm up to with projects coming. So a bit of a strawberry thing at the moment. These were 2 additional fabrics I picked up. Give me that ticking feeling from Zig Zag. Once again, that strawberry feel as well. All right, so let's put them there. We were looking for Lotusfabrics and found out through Louise, the owner, that she purchased this business and kept both names, combined them together in the one location. So Louise was just adorable, and we picked up a few things there with the girls. This is the girls that I was staying with in a house that we shared. Helen, Lynn and Shirley. Had a ball with them. Unfortunately, they've come down with the flu, so they're feeling a little bit under the weather. Hope you get well soon, girls. I've skated through. I think I experienced many of those flus leading up to Japan and after Japan, so I seem to have some immunity. I feel fine. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I made it through. So this fabric here, there's the Symphony, is the name of it. So like I've said before, take a screenshot and then put the photo into your Google search, and it might just happen to lead you to a fabric store that sells it. If you're in Australia, reach out to Louise. And I have a feeling Louise said she ships overseas too, so it wouldn't hurt just to touch base with Louise, and it's lotusfabrics.com.au. So that is a little beauty. Now these are, because I love script text in my projects, it sort of just gives you that little spot to rest your eye. And I had in mind my piece with the girls, the Roxy girls. A little bit of music, and I like the fineness of that print. So that's going to go down the end of the table. Another music piece, just a little bit more grungier, and I think this was Tim Holtz from memory, is it? Ooh, not sure. Look at that on the selvage. What a great piece there on that selvage. Oh, was this Tim Holtz? I think it might be, but I'm not sure. Confidence in textiles. Oh gosh, I'm just missing that bit. I think some of the girls with me may have bought a piece of this. Girls, if you have, put in the comments who it's from, because you would have been, I think Shirley, you definitely got a piece of it. Here comes Fudge. He's going to jump up on that table. Yeah, pop in the comments below, Shirley, if you happen to have the maker. This one here is all about cooking. This is a Moda fabric. What's it say? Fabrics and supplies, Moda. A party without a cake is just a meeting. Julia Child. So this is recipes. One of the girls found this and I was like, ooh, cut me off a piece. So just artwork connecting to cooking. Little recipes. There's an apple pie, coconut macaroons. I thought that was a really pretty little text piece to have in a text pile. There we go. I did show these on the video of Newcastle. So this piece here, I call this a cheat. Laundry basket quilts. I've been watching those guys a little bit. They've got a great channel. Look at that. Talk about save you some time. I thought they might be great for backgrounds. You know, when we're making zipper pouches and that. I could quilt all that, have it ready, becomes a zipper pouch. And Louise was saying that these cut out and make great pin cushions, little gifts. So either way, I loved the colours and I got myself a panel of that. Even as just a feature worked in. If they had been more the colours of my volume 8, I would have been very tempted to work something like that in, but not quite. But boy, what a great colour palette for something in the future. All right, now also from Louise, I bought myself a rotating cutting mat. Now I had one for years, barely used it, pulled it out at COVID. Unfortunately, I left it sitting in the sunlight next to my window in my last house and it warped. It was a rectangular one that spun. It was inexpensive and I have a feeling it's probably why that happened. Many have told me that I could let it warp back, but it never did. I tried my darndest. I put heavy things on it and then I spotted Riley Blake Designs, Sue Daly's. Now I use her, what do you call it? The pieces, paper pieces. So the girls who were with me had experience with this product and said that it was really good. Really good. $50, which was a good price. So I shouted myself one of these, which I've been wanting to do for a little while, but I haven't seen them locally. So I was pleased to see that. And then this, now I grabbed this because I've been watching Beck make hers and I just don't have time to make myself one. And I love the idea of it. And then this came across my path. See, things are meant to be. When you don't have time to make something, sometimes it just turns up anyway. Let me just open this up. So like Beck's quilt book, it's a place where you can keep your coming up projects. So whether you're doing a slow stitch piece or blocks for a quilt, I just love the idea. And I think it was Lynn was saying that she's seen this in use around the traps because she's part of some quilting groups and it comes highly recommended. And I thought, I'm just going to grab it. Whether I embellish it, possibly, you know how it goes with slow stitch. I could certainly, you know, add some goodies to it. But it's a great base and it will hold, let me just grab some scraps of fabric. It'll hold my pieces. Now next year, I'm going on a riverboat cruise with Marianne and Kev, our best friends, sort of to celebrate some birthdays, to celebrate early retirement for Marianne, and we've dreamed about it for years, and we've been saving 4 years, and 2027, no, what's next year? 2026 was the year. So we've finally got our passage booked. And I've been sort of thinking about what am I going to do for 2 weeks on a riverboat cruise that's easy to travel with. So when Beck did her stitch book, I thought, you know, that'd be handy because I could take things prepared to stitch. So that's why I jumped on this. I thought, you know what, I'm just going to grab it because I'm pretty sure I'm going to use it. So my plan will be to create a heap of projects in this ready to go. So then I don't have to take supplies other than threads. This camera is wobbling. I must be leaning against the table. I'm just going to move it slightly, guys, because I can see it wobbling, just to get it away. There we go. So, yeah, the plan is this is going to be my River Cruise project carrier. It will have laid out blocks ready to stitch. And I will be able to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So how's that? And they're a decent size. So even if some are smaller projects, I could, you know, lay one there, lay one there. So that's the plan. Riverboat cruise project carrying apparatus. That's what it's going to be. And it rolls up. How good's that? Do I roll it this way? I roll it this way. Love it. Jen Kingwell project holder. Oh, that's not the words. Quilt block holder. I took it out of its box because it was too much packaging for my suitcase. So Louise can help you out with that. She had another 6 in her cupboard. So yeah, if you were interested in something like that, especially if you're doing a lot of traveling, I think that's really good. And you're a bit time poor and you can't make yourself one. It's really good. All right. What else? So that's Louise's goodies from her business. I think that's mostly shop-related stuff. Yep. Okay, I'm back. So my iPad went flat. I didn't realise while I was away that the power wasn't connected properly. So I just grabbed it this morning, started filming, and suddenly my screen went odd and, yeah, it went dead. So it's all charged and I can crack on with my video. So when I got to Sobe, there was a little surprise parcel there for me. And I wasn't sure who it was from, and I thought, I remember someone sending me a message to say that a parcel had been left at Beck's. So I've just had a moment to unwrap and refresh my memory. Hi, Linda. Thank you for this gorgeous gift. So Linda and I met at Green Door Studios, and she was in town, as in visiting Australia. She's from America, and dropped into Beck's store and left this for me. So thank you for the kind words you said on that little note there. I'm glad you put a little note in, because I was like, I know someone sent me a message, but I could not, I'd have to go back through all of my messages. So thank you, Linda. So I've taken the wrap off that you used to secure the parcel. Look at this, hummingbird fabric. Now I'm going to assume it's vintage, but I'm not sure. It's just so pretty. Once again, take a screenshot. You never know. You might come across it for sale out there if it's something that catches your eye. I love it. I love little bird fabrics. Okay, so this is where I got those little morsels from to show you the Quilter's companion wrap. Aren't they just gorgeous? Real nautical scene. I'll put that in my nautical box. Now, lots of crocheted medallions. I was getting a bit low on these, so this is great. This has stocked me back up. Oh, I can see some treasures below. Oh, little thank you. Oh, gorgeous. Look at this. Tatting. Fudgy, look at this tatting. Fudgy's been sitting on my lap. We've just been watching Colette's latest video. She's new to YouTube, CC Davis. And Fudgy jumped on my lap. We've had a little cuddle while we're waiting for the iPad to charge. And now he's like, oh, come back, Mum. Look at this. That might be a great piece for my volume 8. So I'm going to add that to the end of the table pile. Look at this. I love this fine stuff. Oh my goodness. Be still my heart. Oh, look at that. When they do that extra crochet edge to create the extra layers of petals. This feels old. I wonder what its story is. Did you find that here in Australia, Linda, or was that something you brought with you from the States? That might need to visit the pile down at the end of the table. Oh, isn't that unusual? Loop braid. Made in America. Oh, I wonder if these goodies came from America. Oh, you're pretty. See, little pieces like that are going to be good for our project with the Roxy because they're different shapes. Oh, here we go. What have we got here? Oh, another little note. Let me just pull that. Oh, here we go. This explains. I got hold of these doilies at a local estate sale and I have more of them if you should ever need them. Oh, bless you. Enjoy them. Hand-stitched Dresden plate block from the 1980s. Never made into the quilt. So this is, oh, I love it, Linda. So this is Linda's little bowl and it's based on a Dresden plate that she made that never made it into a quilt. So now I'm putting them to creative uses. Yeah, see, that's a great thing. All of these quilt blocks, you know, those ambitious quilts we start. Oh, thanks for your offer to meet Beaver Coffee, even though it didn't work out. Oh, look, one day we will bump into each other, Linda. She's kindly offered to give me a bit of a tour of America when I get back over there. Oh, you're so gorgeous. Thank you. Thanks, Linda. Now let's check this out. So there you go, a Dresden plate block made into a gorgeous little work tray. Oh, I love these things. They're so handy when you're going somewhere to a mate's place or, you know, sitting in front of a movie. I'm going to stitch that on there, Linda. Where's a pin? I don't have a pin. Gorgeous. Those other pieces I think will end up on my volume 8 and I'll have a home for those. Thank you so much, Linda. Oh, special girl, special girl. I'm stunned at the connections you make with people in our little industry. You know, even if it's just through chatting via comments, you just, I don't know, just amazing, amazing. Here I was panicking when Gaz said to me, righto girl, the spreadsheet's coming together, our grand plan for our future is coming together and you can potentially semi-retire. I freaked out. I was like, oh, I'm going to miss all my staff, the workplace, walking the shop floor, chatting to customers. Like I definitely had a bit of a moment and I quickly sort of fell into this world of stitching and hence my retreats have come about. That's just my way of getting out there and hanging out with you guys. That's my whole motivation, just hanging out with you guys, and you guys have embraced my retreats. I have a unique style that I do, which is just me goosing around with you guys. I love to hear laughter. I love to hear stories and just coming together and sit and stitching. Even if we don't achieve what we're meant to be stitching and we go off on tangents, I love it. I love it. Like, I will never hold you to the project that we're supposed to be doing. If someone says, I've never crocheted, we start crocheting. It's, yeah, the fluidity, if that's a word, is definitely one of my mottos of my retreats. And I just love spoiling you all and, oh, yeah. Plus, it takes me to different areas and I stumble on things that I've admired or like, oh, is that what they've been talking about? When I find all these gorgeous stores, I'm very much for supporting small business in the patchwork fabric area. It's all well and good using old things and recycling and upcycling, fantastic, and I love doing that as well. But I am also very passionate about small business. I've come from small business. I've struggled in small business. So whenever I hit a district, I have to visit all of the quilt stores and just have a good look, say hello, meet the owners, have a chat, and it just warms my heart. So I'll always be bringing new products into my world. I won't be just focusing on the old stuff. Not everyone can get the old stuff, and gosh, the old stuff is getting expensive. I admire what Becca's doing with her business. She has new and old. I think that's clever. I think that's adapting, you know, two worlds together. For those of you who are in one world or the other, lovely. If you're in both worlds, I love that. That's sort of where I fit. I guess I'm getting on my high horse now. I get the odd comment from people saying, oh, you're always using new fabrics. That's not sustainable. That's not, you know, well, to you. Because seriously, the world has to come together and support each other, and supporting new businesses. If we don't, they're going to slip, slide and away. And I love it when I go into these stores. Louise was a prime example. Ladies were sneaking in the front door with their goodies and going to the back area, and they were sitting down and stitching their quilts, classic, beautiful quilts. I just think that's, you know, that's us coming together. These retreats are fantastic because we're coming together. Classes are fantastic. We're coming together. So, yeah, gosh, there goes a tangent. So anyway, Mouse Mansion, you're thinking, what is she up to now? Now, I've been banging on about Mouse Mansion for years. This is a story of a lady who created a mouse house for numerous mice, all by building things from nothing. And this piece is so big, so tall, and has turned into a museum in Amsterdam. So out of the corner of my eye, I spotted this book as part of a gift given to Alie's daughter. Now, Alie was one of the businesses for her birthday, and I said, where did that come from? Zebra and Finch was the gift store. So we all piled into the car in Newcastle, found Zebra and Finch next to Coles and Woolies just down the road from Beck's business on King Street, and went in there, showed filming of the store, and the girls in there were fantastic. And once again, a small business. And it was so full of beautiful giftware and goodies. And I bought myself the Mouse Mansion book, Sam and Julia. Now, the daughter and son of the lady that created this have created these books and merchandise. And there's little videos where kids can learn to make little elements for their mouse mansion. So you literally start with a shoebox and away you go. I just think this is bringing young people into our creative world. And I just wanted to have a quick flip through so you guys can see just how full on. Now, I did do this on the back seat of the car, but I thought when I get home, yes, Fudgy, we can have a closer look. Look at that glare. I might turn the overhead lights off. Fudgy, would you mind flicking the switch? Let's just see if that helps. Yeah, it does. All right. Have Fudgy. Now he's on my chair. Maybe we should say hello to Fudge. Come on, Fudgy bee. Everyone loves the Fudgy. There's the feet. Okay. There's the toes. There's the ears. Oh, I've missed you so, baby. Okay. And now we're going to just gently invert him upside down, giving him a head massage as we go. And there's the Fudge. Hey, Fudgy bee. Hey, yeah, those beautiful eyes. All right, Fudgy, you can sit on my lap while we look at the mouse book. He's like, no, I want to walk. Okay. So, yeah, pretty much if you imagine that as one box and then decorate it up to make it look mousy and old, you've got Mouse Mansion. Look at them. Now, these characters I also picked up. They're part of the merchandising of this a little empire that the kids have built off Mum's Mouse Mansion. Fudgy, over on the chair. But this book is all about Julia and Sam and their adventures. So I'm just going to flip through to give you a bit of a snapshot of the world. Oh. So look, they're cooking a pancake and Sam flips it. No, Julia flips it and lands on Sam's head. It's adorable. Like the creativity that goes into this. Unbelievable. What's that air clay or air dry clay. They use a lot of that to make, you know, pies and pastries and bits and pieces. Look at the bananas in the banana box. Oh, look at it. So I'm on the hunt for some fabric that I could make some mice. Christy, who was at the retreat in Newcastle, has found the video that shows you, I think it's the mum doing it. So it's not in English, but you can see, I think it's the mum. You can see how she makes her mice for her mice mansion. So I remember watching that back in 2019, 2020. When I first stumbled across this. So if you are interested in making some mice, I'll put the link below. Christy's managed to track it down and sent it to me the other day, so I can now add that to the videos. So maybe we start with making a few little mice. Look at it. It's unusual fabric she's used. We were trying to work out what it was. Look at the quilts in the container. Oh, just the more I look, the more I see. I was actually chatting to Anne. I hope you don't mind me sharing this story, Anne, at Newcastle retreat. She took a year off. She had a break, just a year to herself. And you know what she took up? Model trains. Made herself a whole model train village display. And I thought, you know what? I so need to do this. Make myself a mouse mansion. Like, I just love all the textiles and the potential of what you can do. I do recall seeing the video where you learn how to make these structures to make it look, you know, like you're looking into a mousy place. I found a few Facebook sites. We're having babies. We've got triplets. I found a few Facebook sites where they all come together and show pieces that they've made for their mouse mansions. Look at the bunting. We had bunting on our bird box. Oh, goodness me. Now you can buy online all sorts of goodies that can help kick off your mouse mansion too, quite reasonably priced too, you know, crockery, cutlery, and just things that would be pretty tricky to make, like little bottles, you know, little candlestick makers. Look, that looks like a box that's, what do they call, matches. 3 of them in a row, painted gold. Look at the linens. Oh, look at the lace. Little quilt. We're making little quilts in our workshop to put on our boxes. Look, more quilts, girls. Knitting. Not to mention the clothes you can make for your mice. I think I need a year off, Anne. Look at all this. I like how she's got inside scenes and outside scenes. So you're creating this village story. I dived on these books because this is a really good way for me to get inspiration for how to dress a room, because I to take it that next level, just the styling is what I'm trying to say, the styling of the room. When you look at Victorian houses, they're often very staged and very clinical. I love the fact that there's this warmth to their space, and I think that's the talent that this lady had. Look at this, soap suds, staged of course. Like you can see some sticky tape here to hold the door on. There's so many elements that fit our space. Like, look at this, corks, and then she's put a tap in the cork, so it looks like it's a little winery. And then this is that clay I was talking about to make things. What have they got here? This is a key. They've got a bucket of keys, a box of keys. That's the washing machine area. See the little pebbles here? So that's come out from the box, so that then allows the walking down Oh, Rachel, we need Steffi to help us here. Being an architect, he'd be able to set us up with, you know, where this landing comes out to go down the stairs. I think Steffi needs to start a mouse mansion channel to help us with some of the construction. Look at it, it's gorgeous. Help us with the construction. I love that page. That's Sam's bedroom. You can see his quilt on his bed. He's got a bed over here for when a cousin comes. Dartboard. Drawings on the wall. Oh, seriously. And look, chicken pox. Oh, who is it? Does Sam get chicken pox? Yeah. Oh, poor Sam. Imagine this is a cartoon. Maybe it is out there as a cartoon. See, look at all the cakes made from the clay dough. So yeah, by having the books, I can easily have this sitting on a, you know, a recipe book stand that holds it up out of the mess, and I can refer to, you know, techniques, ideas to create the scenes, little baskets. I was thinking about it a bit last night that, you know, don't just make one thing. When you say make a light fitting, make a heap of light fittings, and then as it builds, I've got, you know, elements to add future areas. Otherwise you're sort of reinventing the wheel. Look at the fish market, and then the the small goods, even the little tiles. Like, how'd they do that? They look like the tiles that you get out of, what's that board game? Scrabble. Turn the Scrabble tile over and you'd have tiles for the floor. Opportunities. A lot of these little pieces you can buy as flat images on paper, and then you can make them up, and this company sells all of those things, so the kids can fold together little boxes and, you know, Dove and Lux soaps, and yeah, very clever. And even to the side of the house, the little awning, and then set up a little shop under the awning. It's just adorable. Friday night dinner. Everyone's there for dinner. You can see the kids love it. I don't know about us big kids. Look at the light. Little frames. I've got one of those little frames somewhere. Look at the shadow of the mice with the light. Oh, cinematography within the book. Just beautiful. They're going home and the mouse mansion is all asleep. Oh, now this one, the big book of Look and Find, this is really good. So if you are tempted to join me on the journey, what's it say there at the front? When did all this happen? Okay, mouse mansion. There's the lady that created the mouse mansion, Corrine. Structure was made from cardboard boxes, paper mache, oh, glue and paper and glue, that's trouble, from fabrics from the 1950s, 60s and 70s, used as interiors, all kinds of recycled materials. Mouse mansion has a front, a back and sides, and hundreds of little rooms. Oh, please go and check it out, guys. If you're inspired to build your own mouse mansion, you can watch videos and on our website to explain how to get started. There's the website, like Sam and Julia's page on Facebook. So they've got their own page. And there was sub-branches of the Facebook page of where you can go and see all the different creations. There's some clever ideas. So what this book is, let me zoom up. This is like a Where's Wally. So the kids get the page and they have to find all of the little elements so you can point it out. Oh, look at those tiny little crockery pieces over there. Oh. It's going to, you know, maybe change the way I look at different things. And you pick up these random things at the hardware and you think, oh, that'd make a good faucet, a circus scene. This is outside the circus tent. So you don't even have to build the mouse mansion. You can build an exterior scene. Megan, who was at our retreat at Newcastle, she had the most adorable jacket, which was made of wool blanket. And the squares on it were all pastel colours, and they're about so big. They're a lot smaller than I've ever seen. And she had some scraps. She actually works for a lady that makes vintage clothes out of vintage textiles, she was telling me. I think I found that lady at Balan when I was going through the antique centre filming. I'm pretty sure, I'm just not sure if it's the same one. I need to double check that. I had a feeling that it might not be, but it just reminded me of that aesthetic. Anyway, Megan had some scraps of the blanket that was her jacket with her at the class, and she started off by making this gorgeous apple tree with apples and leaves out of this blanket. And then on the top of her box, she decided to do a picnic scene, and she was piecing together smaller little squares of the blanket, and it was going to be an aerial shot looking down on a picnic blanket on the top of her box. So a classic case of, just because I come along with a box with a bird on the top doesn't mean you have to do a box with a bird on the top. And Megan was brave and went off on her tangent and made something just so unique. It was, oh, I can't wait to see how it comes together, Megan. Keep us posted. So here we have a view of this house in more detail. That's why I think this will be handy. Is that a fabric store? Look. Yeah, it is. She's got tiny patterns for sale. We need a haberdashery store. There's a classroom up here. Oh, goodness me. That's the shot I showed you on the inside of the other book. Look, they're playing a board game in a room. There's bunk beds. The easiest thing for me to create will be these little pictures that kids do on a piece of paper for the kids' room. Look at the button on the wall, button on the wall. This will be really handy. Meow, there's the twins. 1, 2, 3, playing in the kitchen. Look at the nappy. Oh, goodness me. That's clever. That looks like a matchbox size. And like Anne suggested, I need to work out my scale. I need to make my mouse work out the scale. Look at all the Persian blankets for sale. Look, they've got a loom over here. They're weaving. Seriously. Picnic. Look at all the quilts. Having a mouse picnic day. Find the characters. Sand pits playing. A water fountain. Now we're at school. I could do those easily. Little booklets with the letters written on the pages. Like, they're easy. Abacus. Dinosaur in the corner. And look at the roller coasters. Look at this. Whoosh. That's fabric. That's stitched to make the rails. Oh, this is cool. Maybe this is how I can get it into Gaz's shed. I have an arcade in it somewhere. Pinball machines for the mice to play. Look at this, is like what you'd see at the country fair when they used to do those haunted houses, and it was layers and the kids were on like these little trundling along rides. Look at the dragon. Buying a ticket. Fudgy. I'm nearly done, Fudge. I'm gas bagging too long. Fudge has had enough. Back up in Sam's room. Some more shots in the village. Oh, that's gorgeous. So making the bags, selling the bags, retail stores. I love it. Making things out of timber. Little hinges off the pegs. A shell shop. Little itty bitty shells. Oh my goodness, how adorable. Oh, that's like a natural museum. Little museum. A seaside museum. Look at the little tables. Oh. The professor Oh, gorgeous. All right, I think you got the general gist of that. So that is percolating in the background. A couple other quick things. Diane, can you let Wayne know that the handle for Gaz's whippersnipper to save our backs has arrived, and we will be fitting it and giving it a whirl. Well, I know he's fitting it. I hope he gives it a whirl because we need some whippersnippering done. So thanks, Diane. Thanks, Wayne, for showing us that. This is a little gift I got from Rachel and Sarah. I absolutely love it. Look at this old girl. She is beautiful. And it was chock packed with lots of little goodies, which I've since sorted out and put in their respective places. But I kept in here some little elements that I thought will stay in this. There's some old lace. Is that got it? Oh, there's a sticky tape. Let's get rid of that. So I'm not sure if these have come from Sarah or Rachel. It was a combination gift. Let me just get rid of that sticky tape. We don't need that there. So there's some gorgeous trims. So there's that one. Look at this one. Beautiful. This little one. These are the pieces that just caught my eye as being a little bit special. Look at that. So I thought I'm going to use this box for those special pieces that have possibly come from another country. I've got a little collection of some German lace. A lot of it went into a journal that was like a sampler style of all of the laces. But there were a few pieces that were either too big or just didn't fit. So I'm going to dig them out and get them into here. That'll be a good spot. Look at that. That just seems so old. So it'd be a good spot to keep those delicate bits. And I'd love to do another sample journal. That way they're forever saved. You know, it's like you get a page and you stitch them all on as if you're a travelling salesman showing ladies, you know, their wares that they could potentially buy from you. That's sort of the brief I put into my mind when I made that journal. It was a few years back. And it's because I came across a collection of lace from Holland and Germany while I was away at a retreat. And it's just saved them. Otherwise, they'd be chopped up and in my pieces, which is fine, but they were just so special. I just wanted to make, you know, something of them. So that is going to be where I keep my special bits. Look at this little bone. Don't often still see them. They're often missing. And Juju. Thank you, Juju, for this gorgeous little embellished piece. Look at all the stitching there. So I sent Juju a heart for her birthday, and this came back with a little note. So thank you. That can stay in there. Now, what else have I got to show you? Oh, Robin gave me this. It is a doorstop mushroom, and I just love it. Love, love, love it. I'm going to actually use it to keep the door ajar for Fudgy to come and go from the garage. Sometimes the door slams shut and then Fudgy's stuck outside, and it might be an extra hour or two that he really doesn't need, especially when he drinks a lot of water. So I'm often putting my shoe in the door so that it doesn't, you know, close. So this is going to be my Fudgy doorstop, and I was thinking about it. I'm going to embellish it too. This was a little doily that was gifted to me, and it's so unusual. And I thought I might start off by stitching it on the top. Be a lovely spot for it. And this would just be so gorgeous to embellish. So, for example, if you had some gorgeous lace, you could easily embellish around the bottom. So that sent me on a bit of a tangent. So that's TRS Trade. Gosh, I know some of these companies. We buy Christmas from many Australian wholesalers, and that's one of the companies. But they sell other things like homewares, and we could make ourselves a mushroom, a giant mushroom, and then use it to showcase some of our laces. So just an idea. Add it to the list. So thanks, Robin. That's what's going to happen with the mushroom. Now, just to finish off, I've got my projects here. Now, luckily I had projects. Oh my goodness, my flight got cancelled between Brisbane and Hervey Bay. So I had quite a few hours at the airport in Newcastle with my flight. Got on it, got to Brisbane. As soon as I hopped on the phone, Qantas is pinging me saying flight cancelled. And I had 4 hours to kill in the airport. So the only thing I hadn't stitched while I was away was the bunny panels. So I just wanted to quickly show you that. When I packed my suitcase, I left these two in my suitcase. Oh, there's a little one. Oh, it's because it didn't have a bunny. I left them in my suitcase, so that was in the cargo hold of Qantas. But luckily, I packed this little guy. So I managed to get the charcoal stitching done. You can see on the back, the charcoal. I haven't done the flowers because these are going for the Roxy Volume 8 project to help build my theme of bunnies. But so I really don't know what colour they're going to be, and it'll depend on prompts and how the piece evolves. So I thought at least I get some bunnies stitched. Then there were these little ones. Once again, just the bunny. You can see it really well on the back. So I did 3 hours solid stitching. I may have got up for a few snacks here and there. That one's done. So that's the back. And this beautiful big baby. Look at you. Bits hanging everywhere. There were threads all through the Brisbane airport. So if you sit on a chair, Queensland girls, and you find some grey threads, I was there. So I got that big bunny done. I need to go back and trim it a little bit better because I only had the little, there's one of my threads still left. I only had with me this little one because my scissors was in the suitcase. But that did the job. There's a little blade in there that snipped it. So that's really good. I was happy with that. Put that down the end of the table with the pile for the Volume 8. Now the strawberry project. I will film an actual video dedicated to the strawberry project. It's popped up through the whole series of my retreats, and I picked up a piece of bark cloth from Beck's, and it sort of evolved the strawberry pincushion into the strawberry pouch. So what else did I do? Nothing on there because this was in my suitcase, but what I did get done the evening before I left is I run some running stitch down the piece, and that secured it to the wadding. And then that evening I also, thanks to Lynn and her beautiful range of threads, because I didn't have any threads to sort of do stitching, I sat there and stitched the flowers on this bark cloth, and also a couple of the little fronds coming out from it. I'll do a little bit more on the foliage. I felt like I'd already stolen enough of Lynn's threads, and we were packing up too. But when I finished, I thought, oh, I might do that little bit. So this has become a thread painted piece inadvertently, and that's going to be the back of the pouch. Now, I will do a proper video on this as we finish off the project. So that's the pouch. This bit here will fold down to create a thicker top to this little pouch. And then I'll make a selection of a fabric to piece over that. I'll choose the lining, and then I will just overcast stitch it closed. It's real simple, and it's just going to be a nod to the Juju pouch that Rachel made and was gifted also from Juju, where she's put the stripes at the top of the pouch, and I'd like to find some ticking to do that. I'm pretty sure I have some black or dark grey ticking. So my strawberry needle book has morphed into a Juju inspired pouch, and it was all because of that fabric, that bark cloth. So I need to continue my collaging here, so it'll be great. I can dip back into that and then choose the rest of the fabrics to make just an open pouch. That's all. Been done a million times, but when you find a beautiful piece of fabric that suits, Oh, I did embroider some more on the strawberries, which also, when I was waiting to go down to Newcastle and my room was packed up, I started crocheting some strawberries. I don't know, had them in my brain. So I was fiddling around with creating, you know, the strawberry itself. There's heaps of patterns out there, and then some little leaves and just some chain stitch to connect it. So what I thought I might do is, I found them sitting beside me here on the table, is I'm going to attach the strawberries to it. I might crochet some more, maybe even make a garland across one side. So stay tuned. If you're interested in doing a strawberry project, I know a few of you have started making needle books and things with the theme of strawberries. The pictures have been popping up on our Facebook site that I share with Susanna from Vintage Blend Studios and Tia from Calm Creations. The three of us collaborate on a little Stitch Vintage Treasures Facebook site where we just share videos from other channels that inspire us and your work, and just a place to chat and hang out. So hi to the girls that are playing with strawberries. Yeah, if you want to start prepping for a strawberry project, whatever you want to do, maybe have a look at some crocheted strawberry patterns out there. They're really, there's heaps of them on Etsy. I think this little pattern was like $4 or something. I can't remember. There's videos too that show you how to do it for free. So it's whatever you want to do. So that's sitting there to one side. And what else have I got? I took this pouch with me of Diane's, and I achieved the last of my English paper piecing. So in the next week or so, I'll get them all out on the carpet, check my design, and potentially film the next stage of that. And I also managed to stitch, inspired by Sherry Iris and elements to be used in my Volume 8 Roxy Journal of Stitchery. So same technique that Sherry uses, piecing together pieces of fabric to make stitched cloth. And these will pop up as something I can add to my Volume 8. So as I've said previously, I've got multiple piles of things that I want to use on that big project. So this is just one of those little piles, from orphan blocks to Sherry Ice inspired cloth, using textured pieces and Liberty. The bunnies are part of it. And then in amongst it all will be the prompts for the girls, which we now know is the doily prompt is the first one. So yeah, there you go. I think that's it. As I glance around my table, that's it. All right, guys, have a great week, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye.